Hello guys, welcome to another segment of Flutter tutorial for beginners. In this tutorial, we'll be creating our first Flutter application with Visual Studio Code Editor. If you've been following along, in the introduction video of this tutorial, I made mention that we'll be using Visual Studio Code Editor throughout this tutorial. So if you've not watched the introduction video, please do, in order to get understanding of what we'll be doing throughout this tutorial. For those of you who like to use Android Studio, don't worry, I provided helpful tips in the introduction video to get you started. Alright, so now let us head over to Visual Studio Code Editor and get started. We are now in Visual Studio Code Editor. There are a couple of extensions that we need to install. We have to install the Dart extension and Flutter extension. So let's do that. So over here, search for Dart. And once it loads, just click on it and install the Dart extension. I already have it installed, so I don't have to do that. Then over here, search for Flutter. Once it loads, again, install the Flutter extension. I already have it installed, so I don't have to install it again. We can now create our first Flutter application. At the top, just click on View, select Command Palette, and select Flutter New Project. Select the application template, and just select a folder to create the project. We will name our app Hello_World, and just click on Enter. This will create our first Flutter application, Hello World. We can now run our app and see how it looks on the simulator. So now let me bring the simulator and do some adjustments to Visual Studio Code, so they both be side by side. So click at the top terminal, new terminal, and just type Flutter run. And this will take some time for the app to load, since we are now running the app for the very first time. Now this is how our app looks when we first run it on the simulator. We have an app bar, a body with some details. We will soon write our own code to understand these better. Now let me explain what is happening in Visual Studio Code. At the left side over here, we have some folders: iOS folder, lib folder, Linux folder, Mac OS, and many others. We will explain these in later times. But let me explain what is in the lib folder. The lib folder contains the main.dat file, which is our app entry point. We will now clear everything in here and write our own code. Okay guys, we can now clear some codes in here and write our own code. So we'll start from here to the latter parts of this code. Now let's clear some codes at the top over here as well. Be sure to do the same. We can now write our own code. So we'll start with the home and use the scaffold widget. We'll call the app bar and use the app bar widget. The app bar is going to take a title, which we are going to use the text widget. The text widget is going to display Hello World app. Once done, we can now write our body. Our body is going to take the center widget, which is going to have a child property, and is going to take in a text widget, and it's going to display the text Hello World. Once this is done, save it and let's run our app to see what we've written. Voila, this is what we've written. Now I can explain the code to you. Okay, so let me explain what we mean by app bar. App bar is a stateless widget. Now let me explain what we mean by material app. Material app is the outermost widget that sets the basic structure and visual elements of a material design app. Now let me explain what we mean by scaffold. Scaffold is a fundamental container in Flutter apps. Now let me explain what we mean by app bar. App bar is a material design app bar that typically appears at the top of the screen. I can now explain what we mean by center. Center is a layout widget that centers its child widget within it, both vertically and horizontally. Now let me explain what we mean by text. Text is a widget that displays a string of text. So this is an explanation of everything that we've written in our Hello World app. Thank you. Okay guys, we are now at the end of this tutorial, and as such, I believe we all have a basic understanding of setting up a Flutter project, navigating the project structure, and creating a simple Flutter application using Visual Studio Code Editor. So guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video for others to know what we are learning here. See you in the next tutorial.